Mystery surrounds claims of a blackmail racket targeting the owners of a top Australian wine company. The French town that never forgot the diggers. Now they're helping the Black Saturday victims. The love rats caught out by their phone texts. How Tiger's wife discovered his cheating heart. And the legend of the Banzai Pipeline, the deadly surf reef that will see an Aussie world title showdown.
This is Nightline with Kellie Connolly.
Good evening. Crime is a tarnish the town of Griffith in southwestern New South Wales finds hard to rub off. First, there was the Donald Mackay murder in 1977 and allegations of organised crime and drug trading. Tonight, a local man in his 60s is in custody, charged with trying to extort millions of dollars from a famous wine-producing family. The unanswered question, what was he blackmailing them over?
This Griffith winery has a very expensive secret, and this man, 67-year-old neighbour Matteo De Dominics, has been allegedly profiting from it for years.
Relating essentially to an extortion against an individual with threats to the individual and his family.
He faced court this morning charged with 4 counts of blackmail, gleaning hundreds of thousands of dollars from John Casella, the family behind Yellowtail, Australia's biggest wine exporter. From its beginning in 1962, the business now turns over hundreds of millions of dollars a year. The blackmail charges date back to February last year, when a $300,000 payment was allegedly made. In April, it's claimed Casella gave De Dominics another $150,000, and then in November another $195,000. In total, it's alleged Casella handed over $645,000.
It was a substantial amount of money and quite a serious offence, and great anguish to the victim and his family.
It all unravelled last week for Mr De Dominics when he allegedly demanded $5 million from John Casella. It's then Mr Casella decided enough was enough and he called the police. The town of Griffith has been unable to shake its reputation. It was the backdrop of the hit TV series Underbelly 2, the centre of organised crime and drugs. It chronicled the town's mafia roots and the 1977 unsolved murder of Donald Mackay. Matteo De Dominics didn't apply for bail today, allegedly telling police he would continue to harass the Casella family if it was granted. The case returns to Griffith next year. Lizzie Pearl, 9 News. Griffith.
A man has been charged with yesterday's murder of a musician in a Melbourne laneway. 20-year-old Benjamin Canham handed himself into police. Andrew Dowd was allegedly bashed with an iron bar outside the boarding house where they both lived. A 26-year-old bank teller has been charged with the murder of 72-year-old Nancy Brayshaw, who last month was found strangled at her home in the Sydney suburb of Epping. Kellie told police she was at Ms Brayshaw's home when masked men forced their way inside and attacked them. Henson also allegedly stole more than $100,000 from the elderly woman's account. Kate Quinn, the head of Victoria's Forensic Drug and Alcohol Branch, has been suspended amid claims of serious misconduct. A damning report handed down by Ombudsman George Brewer found drug samples were being stored in workplaces unsealed, while some officers were even holding drug evidence in their personal lockers. While there's no allegations of corruption, the Chief Commissioner has accepted all of the Ombudsman's recommendations, including random drug testing of forensic staff. A 73-year-old woman and a boy have been struck by a car driven by a female L-plate driver in Sydney's Westlake today. The learner driver in a 4-wheel drive hit the pair on the footpath before crashing through a fence and into a yard. The woman suffered a broken wrist and fractured ribs, while the 10-year-old is being treated in hospital for multiple bone fractures. The learner driver was under supervision when the accident happened. We expect politicians to spend our money. That's what they do, after all, but not on dinner at a raunchy New York restaurant. The politician in question is New South Wales Labor power broker Joe Tripodi.
It was the great Tripodi Air Junket, a 3-week around-the-world jaunt that took Jet Set Joe to Europe and then the US, where on one April night he ended up here, at one of New York's most famous restaurants, Steakhouse, which unashamedly uses models to add sizzle to the sales pitch. And on the 26th of April, Among its guests, Joe Tripodi. And at the end of the night, this bill, $641.90 US, including a $100 tip. Most of it paid for by us, the state taxpayers.
This is the kingmaker who put Christina Connolly in place. He's a puppet master. Here he is wasting taxpayers' money on very questionable places like this at great expense and, frankly, seedy.
The only part of the bill T-Bone Tripodi and his 4 guests paid for themselves was the alcohol, $179 worth. The taxpayers are the ones left out of pocket. The trip to sell the state's energy assets, which still haven't been sold, cost us $290,000. The documents also reveal business class fares for the Labor heavyweight alone, almost $25,000. Both Mr Tripodi and the new Premier, Christina Connolly, have refused to comment about this embarrassing dinner selection. Kevin Wild, 9 News.
The widow of former Olympic swimming coach Terry Buck has gone public to defend her late husband against child sex allegations. She says one of the men claiming to be a victim was a close family friend before a falling out.
I can say with certainty in my heart and an assurance that they are lies.
Lorraine Buck refuting damning child sex allegations levelled at her husband.
How can I be sure? I can be sure in the comfort of knowing the person, my husband Terry, for the last 40 years.
The mother of 3 talks of a man she believed in, whom she describes as a life coach and a mentor to all who knew him.
I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you if I felt there was any substance to the stories.
Terry Buck died in an accident in 2005. Former Olympic swimmer Greg Rogers has renewed claims Buck sexually abused him and his brother in the 60s. A police investigation into the allegations was carried out 9 years ago, but there was not enough evidence to charge Buck. Now it's emerged Rogers had a falling out with Buck over a business deal, and that the pair have been close friends for decades after the alleged sexual assaults. So strong was the friendship, Rogers was godfather to Buck's youngest daughter.
Greg has been within our family, when I think about it now, for the 40 years of our married life. And there was a trust.
Buck's family is thankful he isn't around to see these latest developments.
I just thank God he's not alive, because of the life he's led and of the good he's done, this would not serve anyone. So I'm just thankful that he's not here.
While this has hurt her family, she's also worried about the effect the accusations have had on the swimming world and those who knew and trusted her husband.
My message to them is, you were right. Stay with your gut, because you'd met one hell of a man.
Simon Boda, 9 News on the Gold Coast.
Our strengthening economy could lead to some nasty news for Australians with a mortgage early next year. Another interest rate rise is likely after today's better-than-expected jobs figures. The unemployment rate last month fell to 5.7%, with more than 31,000 new jobs created. Economists now believe unemployment has peaked and there'll be further falls. A picket which is threatening Queensland Christmas petrol supplies turned ugly today. Protester Graham Jepp was hit by a BP shuttle bus outside of the company's Brisbane refinery.
Run over by somebody at a picket line is absolutely outrageous and unacceptable.
The 39-year-old was later released from hospital with cracked ribs and a big headache. The dispute is over the number of allowed work breaks. Fear was running hot for residents north of Brisbane today as firefighters battled 2 large grass fires, strengthened by the continuing heat wave and strong winds. Both blazes burned close to home. At Narrabah, 2 waterbombing helicopters were called in to support ground crews. Earlier, 12 crews fought for hours to save houses on Brisbane's Bayside. Nothing was lost, but some firefighters had to be treated for heat exhaustion. It was firefighting that cost the life yesterday of a National Parks ranger in a helicopter crash in the small northern New South Wales community of Dorrigo. He was a popular man in his community and locals are mourning his loss.
It was a job he loved. For 12 years, Aaron Harbour dedicated himself to the National Parks and Wildlife Service. Today, disbelief as his workmates visited the crash site where he was killed.
We were all devastated, as you can understand. It was, not only a work colleague, but a mate.
More than just a mate, Aaron played a huge role in the tight-knit Dorrigo community, recently raising over $700 for men's health.
He was just the most beautiful, lovable larrikin, full of life, needed help. Aaron was there.
You know, he was just somebody that was a hard worker and he was fighting for his community.
The 41-year-old's life was cut short in this paddock, the Bell Jet Ranger helicopter crashing during a bushfire survey flight. There was heavy fog here yesterday, but this morning conditions cleared, giving investigators a good look at the wreckage. The chopper flipped upside down, scattering debris.
We'll be looking at fuel. They've just recently refueled prior to the accident, and we'll be looking at the engine for its serviceability, any mechanical problems that may have occurred.
And whether the fog contributed to the accident.
It's a shocking reminder of the dangers faced by fire crews every day, and this summer there'll be no reprieve. This afternoon there are more than 100 bushfires burning across the state, and often the most effective way to fight them is from the air.
The helicopter pilot remains in hospital with serious injuries. Investigators are waiting to interview him, hoping to find out how the routine bushfire flight ended like this. Amelia Adams, 9 News.
A Queensland man has died after being stung dozens of times on the face and throat by bees. He was found by relatives slumped by the side of his utility in a tiny town southwest of Toowoomba. But paramedics and police couldn't get to the man's body for some time because of the swarming bees. And there were more bees inside the vehicle.
It's very unusual that why would he have the bees in the car with him in a towel?
The victim might have been an amateur keeper who took the bees from an abandoned hive at the local dump. Perth's tree man is still hanging in there, with Richard Pennycue spending his 4th night in the eucalypt he's trying to save. But while all is peaceful up among the branches, the protest was anything but on the ground. Hilda Potzik was confronted and arrested.
Why can't we talk here? Then if I'm not here, they will kill the trees. They will go ahead with their dirty job. Yeah.
Police claim she had punched one of the loppers cutting down the trees, which are regarded as dangerous. Back in the boughs, Richard Pennycue's son has now taken up residence nearby. More than 90 years on, the French town of Villers-Bretonneux is repaying a distant act of generosity. In a touching act of friendship, they've raised $20,000 for a school destroyed in the Black Saturday bushfires.
Repaying a 91-year-old promise from the French, and these youngsters at Strathewen had their own message back. Merci! Thanks to a donation from students at a Villers-Bretonneux school, an outdoor chess set will be built when construction starts here in a few months.
It's really good for your brain and makes you smarter.
You play with it, you move around. My brother has one that came from China.
The school, like much of the town, was devastated in the Black Saturday fires that also claimed the lives of 27 residents.
Sad things have happened, but we're getting through it.
Australian soldiers liberated the town of Villers-Bretonneux in World War I, and Victorian school children back then each donated a penny to help rebuild a school there. And the locals made this pledge.
N'oublions jamais l'Australie.
Meaning, let us never forget Australia. And the students here are thrilled.
It's just amazing, and thank you very much.
It's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster. I would never pretend that it was easy, but they're a terrific bunch.
At the moment, the students are attending school at Wattle Glen, about 20 minutes from here, but they can't wait to get back to their beloved Strathie.
It's just so bushy and it's quiet and so nice. Because it's always been special to me to be at Strathie.
Rachel Rollo, 9 News.
Let's take a look now. What's making headlines in tomorrow's national press? The Australian reports there's concern among chief executives that rapid jobs growth in Australia will lead to acute labour shortages. Sydney's Daily Telegraph leads with the news that Tiger Woods' wife is staying with the golf star despite the revelations of several affairs. Melbourne's Herald Sun says that homicide detectives have travelled to Western Australia to interview people in relation to the murder mystery of Elizabeth Membry. Brisbane's Courier Mail claims doctors are blaming alcohol-fuelled violence for a doubling in the number of severe facial injuries needing surgery in the past year. And the Adelaide Advertiser reports that a poll has shown the state Labor government's election chances have improved despite sex allegations against Premier Mike Rann. Now let's see what's on the Today Show tomorrow.
Hey, Kel. Now, tomorrow we're going to have your first Christmas weather forecast right here.
You won't get it anywhere else, and also the secret guide to enjoying the turkey and the pud without piling on the kilos. That's the most important thing. Do not miss it.
Plus, the Wiggles join us and the best Christmas gift for the kids. See you tomorrow, Kel.
See you then, Lisa. Ahead in Nightline, are text messages the new lipstick on your collar? How Tiger got caught. And the Banzai Pipeline, surfing's arena of death or glory.